This is Rick Harsch, and I have a master class in fiction. But it seems to be evolving. Look at my beard. So, I'll tell you a personal thing. I just don't like shaving, but I don't like a full beard either. And like this, I can shave in about a minute total. Once I get into the bathroom, and I just can't care how I look because it doesn't change much. No matter what I do, I'm still an ugly motherfucker. But what I really am here for today is to acknowledge that my master class is evolving. Because I started a press, I have a lot of interest in that press. I'm very excited about the press. We have a lot of great books. Let me see if I can find one. Probably the most spectacular recently. Now, I'm not saying even the best, but the most spectacular is Chandler Brossard's the reissuing of Wake Up, We're Almost Here. But there are a lot of others. Naturally, in starting my own press as a writer, I needed to get, and the reason I started the press is I needed to get this book out, The Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas, because it's getting great reviews, but I can't find a publisher in the United States. So here I am in Slovenia with a not for sale in the United States copy of The Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas, so technically it can still be published there for the first time. I got a lot of other great books here. Let's see, David Vardaman's Flip Book is one. That shows, a little indication of the creativity of the press. Pocketbook. And since I'm on pocketbooks, one of my favorites is one of mine that I retrieved, Skulls of History, another one that's gotten great reviews, and it has been published, but not well. And we got a better copy here with an introduction by Claire Vassallo and an afterword by Chris Villa, who is an up-and-coming reviewer. I think the next Stephen Moore. Anyway, so I'm talking a lot about that, but I think I ought to be able to just come on here and talk about anything I want. Actually, we all can do that now. But I think I need to acknowledge it, and if it's not really a master's class, I'll just talk. The one thing I want to talk about today is, very briefly, I want to say that the first piece of news I saw was another journalist killed, and another one in Mexico. He was filming dead bodies along the side of the road, and he was killed. These are important things. I could say a lot about the United States because I lived there for 42 years. But I'm not going to. It looks like Trump is finally going to be abandoned by the cowardly Republicans who refuse to abandon him because they really want to retain his supporters, all of whom most of whom buy into a lot of crazy bullshit and are not the kind of people I would want supporting me. If they happen to buy any of my books, they'll hate me if they understand anything I'm saying, because I'm very strongly anti-fascist. So this is just an announcement of or an acknowledgement of a change. There will still be master classes because those inane superstar writers are still teaching them, and they've got nothing but bullshit to say. Well, maybe not nothing but bullshit. I'm not watching them. I just get the fucking commercials where supposedly, presumably, you get the best that they have to offer. Little bits like Neil Gaiman's. The task of a second draft is to make it seem like a first draft. That's not really true. It's not true at all. And sometimes a second draft isn't even necessary. A bit of a revision, maybe, but sometimes writers are just plain inspired. And they don't need the kind of criticism that is rampant in the United States, the nitpicking shit. Chandler Broussard is the best antidote to that kind of criticism. That the most beautiful thing about him, it reminds me of Henry Miller when I first read him 40 years ago. What was most attractive about Miller was the freedom. His freedom was so infectious that reading anything by him made me feel more free. His writing was it ranged from more or less trite to some of the most exciting, explosive prose ever written. But all of it was the writing of a free human being. And Chandler Broussard reminds me of that. When I read Chandler Broussard, I know I'm reading a brilliant mind expressing itself through fiction and very free fiction. There's nothing that is off limits to him, and he knows what he's writing about. He's an anti-fascist writer, and a subversive writer, and very, very funny.